The Los Angeles Sparks, definitely one of the teams that I've been waiting to see back in action, especially with the off season that they've had. Um, we got a new head coach, some good draft pieces that they picked up, some young players that have developed over the off season. You got Cam Brink hopefully returning soon. Her return is set for June, I think. That's 3 weeks hoping before we start recording. But this group, um, I guess you could say is an exciting young group with some vet leadership. At the guard position, at the forward position. Um, I mean, definitely a talented team and a team that if they get good chemistry early, I could see them as being like one of those middle of the pack teams. But as far as this current moment, there's still a lot that's undefined with this group. Um, yeah, so what are your thoughts on this 2025 Los Angeles Sparks team?
I'm also excited to see what they do, especially with Lynn Roberts coming in to be their head coach. She's coming from Utah, which when she was there, there was a team that shot a lot of threes, wanted to get up and down. They acquired Kelsey Plum, number 9 pick, and a 2026 second round pick for the number 2 pick, number 13 pick, and Lee Rue. Um, they signed Odyssey Sims. They waived Zaya Cook this offseason. They signed Emma Cannon and Lee Maley, who they just released maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Shanice Swain, Mercedes Russell, and Maria Klundikova, formerly Maria Vadiva, who used to play for the Sparks a couple seasons back. Um, they traded Lexi Brown for a number 21 pick, or for the number 21 pick, um, and for a 2027 second round pick. They drafted Sarah Ashley Barker, Sanaya Fagan, and Leah Tu King. They signed Aaron McDonald again and waived Alyssa Usby in the last couple of days as well. Um, as far as outlook, my thing is, or one of the questions I have is, can Kelsey Plum be the best player on the team? We've never really seen her have to be the number one option uh, on a team that wants to be a playoff team, that wants to try to contend. I don't think they see themselves as contenders just yet, but with the talent that they have and the potential of the young players that they have around Kelsey Plum and De'Erica Hamby, I think maybe not this year, but maybe next year they're hoping that they're able to take that next hump. How healthy will Cam Brink be? She should be back early to mid June. Is her timetable. She did say recently, not super recent, but this is only about 2-ish months ago, maybe a month and a half. She mentioned that she had really started to ramp back up and things weren't going exactly the way she had hoped in terms of her shooting ability, her conditioning, and things like that. So um, I'm sure they'll be patient with her and let her take her time to get back to the level that she wants to be at before she returns. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's a Rakia leap this year. I think she'll play a lot more than she did last year, even though she played a good bit last year. I think there was some times where Kurt Miller kind of just didn't put her on the court or left her off the court. I don't think Lynn Roberts will do that. I think she understands how important Rakia is to their future. For me, I would look at shooting improvement from her, especially with a coach that likes to shoot threes or wants a team that can shoot the three ball well. Which is why I wasn't surprised when they picked up Sarah Ashley Barker. Which is why I think Ray Burrell will have a an increased role as well because she can play really good defense and shoot the three at a high level. And then I'm also looking for continued De'Erica Hamby progression. I feel like every year since probably 2018, she's gotten better and better. Last year, she was an all star. Um, I don't know if she'll hit all NBA or all WNBA level, but I think she can stay at that all star level, and that helps when you have a Kelsey Plum, you have a Cam Brink, you have a Rakia Jackson, um, and you still have players like Ray Burrell, Azari Stevens around them that can really help them out around the edges. And one of my favorite players that hasn't played in the last couple of years. Julie Alamon is also on this roster. She's out for 4 to 6 weeks with a meniscus injury, but the surgery was about 2 weeks ago. So her timetable is probably around the same as Cam Brink's. So if they can both come back around the same time and she can add some extra point guard play. I know they signed Ari McDonald, but I would say from what we've seen the past couple of years, I don't think coaches have really trusted her to really be a backup point guard or to really be somebody that they really trust with the ball in their hands. And I'm not saying that they're right in that. That's just what we've seen so far. Now, if Lynn Roberts trusts her more and she's seen more in training camp and during the off season, then by all means, like she'll be that. But I think Julie Allen can come in again, shoot the three ball well, is a great passer, and is a willing defender. At her size, I think you can play her with KP. You can play her without KP on the court. I think it helps Kelsey Plum a ton. Just not feeling like she has to do everything and not have to be the great facilitator and the number one option in terms of scoring. And I think De'Arica Hamby can help that as well because De'Arica Hamby at her size is a good passer as well. Cam Brink, when she's on the court, is also a really good passer. So um, that's a player that I'm looking forward to seeing uh, soon. I don't think she's played in the W since maybe 2021. I think
It's been
maybe
a minute.
2022 was her last season. She had a great season with Indiana, her rookie season, and then the Olympics happened, and then she played a season with the Sky, which I really liked, and then she was doing things overseas for Belgium, her national team, leading up to last year's Olympics. So um, hoping that we get to see her more in the W over the coming years. But the strengths that I have down for the Sparks are that they do have all-star talent and they have all-star talent potential. Um, the front court, when all of them are healthy, their front court is probably the best part of their team.
Hmm.
Having Cam Brink, Rakia Jackson, De'Arica Hamby, Azare Stevens, um, that can all come out and contribute at a high level. They've got a great mix of experience and youth, and then I would say their weakness is just trusted depth at this point. We don't know exactly what their rotation is going to look like outside their, I would say, trusted six or like solid six right now. Um, and that's something that we'll see with training camp or with preseason games, and then when the season starts, because they haven't played a preseason game yet, so we don't know exactly what they're thinking in terms of rotations and things like that. So that's something I'm looking at, or that's what I'm looking forward to for the Sparks team this season.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there in terms of the strengths and weaknesses. I think their youth development, like with Rakia Jackson, Ray Burrell, Aaron McDonald, and Cam Brink, them taking that next step in their careers and having good off seasons, all of them. Um, Ray Burrell and Rakia Jackson playing unrivaled, and just seeing how their games have developed. I think that is a plus for them, or this makes them a stronger team. And you got a player like Odyssey Sims who is still hungry. Like everything I'm seeing from her the past couple seasons has been like she's still one of them ones. And it's like you when teams give Odyssey Sims a chance, she doesn't let them down in a sense. Like she's been one of my favorite players since she's been in the league for real, for real. But definitely just a crafty, um, tough guard that can help any team that she's on. The Erica Hamby, the development she's has had as a player the last couple seasons has been great as well. She has solidified herself as a star in this game, and I think she's due for another good season for the Los Angeles Sparks. Definitely can see her being an All-Star this year. Um, but outside of that, I do agree with the fact that I would guess the lack of team chemistry, some of the new pieces coming in, and some like of the new players that they have on the squad, and then just their level of talent, comparing that with the rest of the league. Like this team is give this team like 2 seasons with this core. One thing I'm really definitely looking forward to seeing with this squad is looking at how Kelsey Plum responds as being like the lead guard. You know, like we really haven't seen her. Like she was what she wasn't the main point guard in Vegas because they had Chelsea Gray there. I mean, she was at a time before Chelsea Gray was there, but I mean, like now she's
And
at a
then they had
different
like
point.
Danielle Robinson.
Yeah. And then now she's at a point now in her career where she is relied upon to be the like one or two option on the team. Definitely all-star level player, so she's going to be looked towards to lead this team at different times. Um, so I want to see how that looks at this point in her career for Sparks with this group. So I mean, I know it have its ups and downs, and like we've really seen how like Kelsey's more so like a I want to say she's like a facilitating guard, but I would want to see her to really get to that and run the point with this group. But because we've seen her to just be like a scorer, just straight like head on, like a head on, just straight. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna try to find my way to get to it, whatever. And we've seen how at times with the Aces, how that has hurt them. You know, she's shot the Aces out of game sometimes, or how she's just made questionable decisions on offense. Um, but I would like to see her become more polished in her role as a point guard. Like, not saying to just dial it all the way back, but I got to get a little more selfless with the ball. Because like, I don't know, there's gonna be times KP just goes on to do something by herself, and it's like, what was the plan there? Like, what were we thinking? You know, like rush decisions or bad drive attempts, bad shots. So outside of that though, I really can't wait to see this group compete. This is a fun team on paper, and definitely a team I'll be looking forward to watching throughout the season.
Yeah, for KB, I feel like she hasn't really had to be like a floor general point guard in her career, probably ever. Um, she didn't have to do it in high school. She was the best player on her team. In college, there was no real WNBA talent with her. She obviously had set the scoring record when she was in college. And then when she got to the W, her first year was kind of a struggle. First couple of years was kind of a struggle, and then she turned it around. But even then, they would always have other guards that could play make so that she didn't really have to do it as much. And then you also had De'Arica Hamby and Jackie Young, who were both bigger, were both wings that could handle the ball and facilitate as well. So, and then you brought Chelsea Gray in for the last couple of years. So I think at a certain point, the ball got taken out of her hands
Hmm.
a little bit more than what she was accustomed to. And I think this is a chance for her to really just show her growth as a player. I think, um, like, yeah, she should show she should show better decision making, but I don't want her to change her game because that's what makes her Kelsey Plum. If she wasn't the scorer that she was, she wouldn't be in the league right now. Let's just be honest. Like
No, 100%.
she's one of the best scorers we've seen in the WNBA ever.
Yeah.
One of the best scorers we've seen in women's basketball ever. Obviously, if you're going to play the point guard position, you want to see the ability to play make and make plays for others. And I think she has that ability. But again, it's not like Asia needed to be spoon fed. Kia Stokes wasn't a player that was really looking to be, um, you know, aggressive offensively. Jackie Young didn't need to be spoon fed. Chelsea Gray was the one making plays for people. So she didn't really have that opportunity in Vegas, I feel like, which is why I think they went in the I think that's why they went with Jewel Lloyd is because Jewel Lloyd fits the two spot better than Kelsey Plum. Even if I think at this point Kelsey Plum is the better player and still is probably the better fit, I just think she's more efficient. than Joel Lloyd has been in her entire career. In my opinion, Joel Lloyd is a great scorer, but when it's not efficient, I don't see the value in that. But maybe this is the year that changes for her. But for Kelsey Plum, I think yes, she's made mistakes and she's um, definitely not the perfect point guard. But there's only 2 to 3 point guards that we see in the league today and in the past that have really like made their mold of being like playmaking, just only playmaking guards, and that's Courtney Vandersloot, Sue Bird, and then I wouldn't even put Chelsea Gray in there because she's a great scorer in her own right. And I think Kelsey Plum just needs to find that balance, and I think this is the team that can help her do that. I think her and Lynn Roberts will have a really good relationship, and I think her seeing what her team is going to need from a day to day basis or game to game basis is going to be really important. Like that leadership role that she's going to have to take, being a player that's won a championship, 2 championships, um, and just being able to bring those other players in and put them and help them get to a position of this is how we're supposed to train, this is how we're supposed to practice, this is how we come in and day out if we want to be champions. And I think she wanted that opportunity to do that. And I think Asia hinted at it during her interviews during media day, I believe it was, that some people wanted to you know make some individual growth um, outside of the team, and there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I think especially when you're somebody that was with the team for as many years as you were, you won 2 championships, you had great success. I think if you want to take that chance on yourself, take that opportunity to better yourself and see if you can be that player, I don't think there's a problem with that. So, um, and I think when Cannon Brink is healthy, this team looks a lot different than what it's going to be when it starts the season. Even Julie Alamon, again, we don't know exactly who's making the roster, but I would assume she does. Um, and then Sarah Ashley Barker, I think, plays a role too at the guard spot, so that'll help Kelsey Plum out, especially defensively. Having Ray Burrell there, having De'Erica Hamby, Rakia Jackson, Cam Brink, Azare, Sarah Ashley Barker, just bigger wings, bigger guards to be around her, so that when they do try to go at her, and she's a good competitor. I'm not saying that she's not a good defender, but she competes. But she's a smaller guard, so teams are going to try to go at her. When you have the players around her that they will have, that helps them on the defensive end for sure.
Yeah, back to KP. I'd have to further agree with you there that I don't want to see KP. I know what I just said, but I don't want to see KP get out of like her game. Just want to see a better version of that, really, is what I was getting at. Um, of her having an improved role in terms of being a higher priority on offense, I'd imagine on this team. Um, it'll be really a chance to see her as a leader, like full fledged, like step into a role that she's played before on other teams, but not really at the W level, being that she was on a star-studded team like the Aces, where any day, even any one of them could be the one that was relied upon to, win them games and be the focal point of each game. But I mean, I see on this roster, it seems like she'll be the focal point or just be that one for the Sparks this season.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, yeah, definitely interested in seeing how this team looks at full health. Because I feel like this team can compete, just not with, the Liberty and the Aces, the Lynx. Like, they're not there yet. But give this team like 2 years and they'll be up there. I'll say two
Yeah,
years to
I
this
agree
squad.
with that for sure.
2 years. Two
Definitely agree
years.
with that. Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, man. But do you have anything else?
No, that was all I had on him, I believe.
All right, cool. Well, with whatever goes on with the Los Angeles Sparks this upcoming summer, we'll be sure to break down all of it here on the Multiplicity Media YouTube channel.
Appreciate that.